Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alan Mahyudi Maulidan, TBIB semester 4. And now, here I will explain a little about psychological theory. Next. The first, psychoanalysis, a study of the unconscious mind, which deals with mental health disorders. Psychoanalysis, the art operation at an conscious level and focus solely on intellectual driven and desires. 2. Biological instincts make up it. According to Freud, Ross, or the instinct to survive that drives the engage in life. Sustaining activities and senators or the dead instinct that drives destructive, aggressive, and violent behavior. Ego. The ego is about wanted for an attack on the id, working to meet its need in a socially appropriate way. It is the most that really and begins to develop in infancy. Next, number 2, behaviorism. Any one person can easily be tried to act in a dependent manner given the proper amount of conditioning here. And behaviorism in the classroom. In education of behaviorism have effectively adopted the system of reward and their classroom by rewarding behaviors and punishing in ons. Reward vary, but must be important to the learner in some way. For example, if a teacher wishes to teach the behavior of remaining seated during the class period, successful student reward might be checked in the teacher mailbox, reading and around, or being allowed to go the library to do homework at the end of the class period. As we all, teaching method success depends on each student stimulus and response, and unmet by each learner. Next, number 3, cognitivism. The way people think impacts a person's behavior. Cognitivism in the classroom, discovery learning. Number 1, provide correct props and visual aids, such as model and or timeline. Number 2, use familiar example to facilitate learning more complex ideas, such as story problem in March. Number 3, classify and group information with increasing complexity to use outline. And number 4, enhances the facilitate assimilating new information with previous knowledge. And number 5, present problems that require logical analytic thinking. The use of tools such as brain teaser and is encouraged. Number 6, use visual aids and models. 7, provide to discuss social, political, and cultural issues. Okay, next, number 4, ecological. Human classify their lives into the 5 stages. Uh, ecological learning. Learning space are principally mature in nature and are space of action, where learners go knowledge, doing, and making emerge. Okay. Point B. Learning space can, in part, the configured by teacher but are constructed by the learners when enacted. Therefore, learners' agency and skill is of crucial importance because learners stand this process. Uh, and learning speech are relational in nature, which implies that the learner relates and which resource. For example, knowledge, people, material, digital from local or extended. Next, number 5, humanism. Each and every human has control over one's action, freedom, attitude as well as behavior. Okay, the principle of humanistic learning theory. 1. Student choice. Choice is central to the humanistic learning theory and humanistic psychology. Humanistic learning, student concrete to student are to make control over their education. They make choice that can range from daily activities the future goals. Students are to focus on a specific subject area of interest for a reasonable amount of time that their choice. And 2. Fostering to inspire students to become self-motivated to learn. The psychology approach is based of learner feeling, nature, and self-motivated, so they want to learn. Case 3. The importance of self-evaluation. For most humanistic teachers, grades don't really matter. Self-evaluation is the most meaningful way to evaluate how learning is going. Grading students to work for the grade instead of doing things based on their own of learning. Rote testing and rote memorization don't lead to learning in this theory, and those are by humanistic teacher. And number 4, feeling and knowledge are both important to the learning process and should not spared. According to humanistic psychology, humanistic teacher we believe that knowledge and feeling go hand in hand in the learning process. Okay, next, number 6, the last point, Islamic education. Education is to develop the development of psychical and spiritual encompassing the full potential of student, both psychomotoric, cognitive potential and their effective potential for the relation of human. Okay, principle of Islamic education. Number 1, the most widely used for the education in a formal sense is ta'lim. For the root, alima, to know, to be aware, to perceive, to learn, which is used to denote knowledge being sought or imparted through instruction and teaching. Tarbiyah, from the root raba, to increase, to grow, to rear, implies the stage of spiritual and ethical nurturing in accordance with the will of God. Okay, ta'dib, from the root aduk, to be cultured, refined, well mannered, suggest a person development of sound social behavior. What is meant by sound requires a deeper understanding of the Islamic conception of the human being. Okay, 2, from an Islamic perspective, and most usable model of perfection is the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the goal of Islamic education is that people be able to live as he lived. 3, education in the context of Islam, a process that involves the complete person, including the rational, spiritual, and social dimension, as noted by Syed Muhammad Al-Naqib Al-Attas. Comprehensive and integrated approach. The education in Islam is directed toward the balanced growth of the total personality, training man's spirit, intellect, rational self, feeling, and bodily sense. Okay, such that faith in influence into the whole of his personality. Okay, maybe that's all I can say, more or less. I'm sorry because I am still studying here. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.